All right, so are you ready to jump back into the TARDIS with us?
Always.
Perfect. So we've already done a few deep dives on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
We talked about the Doctor themselves.
Right.
All those different, iconic Doctors. We faced down some truly terrifying villains.
Yep.
But now we're going to unlock the real secret sauce of Doctor Who.
Okay.
The companions.
Yes. Companions are fascinating.
Yeah.
They're so much more than sidekicks.
Okay.
Really. They are the heart of the show.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
often the eyes through which we, the audience,
Yes.
experience these crazy adventures.
Okay.
All these fantastical adventures.
I'll admit sometimes I'm watching
Yeah.
and thinking to myself,
Mm-hmm.
well, someone has to ask these very obvious questions so that we, the audience, can follow along.
Sure.
But,
yeah.
There's got to be a deeper reason why the Doctor always has a companion.
Absolutely.
Right.
Remember, the Doctor is this ancient alien being practically a force of nature in their own right. Companions, they provide this vital human perspective, which grounds the Doctor's experience in something that we can relate to.
Right.
They remind us of the impact these events that the Doctor's involved with have on ordinary people.
So they're like a bridge between the Doctor's cosmic perspective and our very human one.
Exactly.
Right.
And it goes even deep into that because companions challenge the Doctor. They push him to confront his flaws.
Interesting.
And often remind him of his own compassion.
Right.
They become heroes in their own
right.
They evolve and grow through their adventures.
Okay, see, that's what's so interesting about these companions.
Yeah.
They're not just along for the ride.
No.
Like, they actively shape what happens in the story.
Yeah.
They often become just as iconic as the Doctor themselves.
Exactly.
And speaking of iconic,
yeah.
how can we talk about companions without talking about Sarah Jane Smith?
Oh, yeah.
She even got her own spin-off show.
Right.
Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah, Sarah Jane is a great example of how companions can transcend their initial roles. I mean, she starts as an investigative journalist.
Right.
Always questioning, always digging for the truth.
Yeah.
But those experiences with the Doctor transformed her.
Yeah.
Pushed her to become this defender of Earth.
Right.
In her own, right?
It's interesting how her character resonated so strongly with the audience that she got to go off and have her own adventures.
Absolutely.
She really left her mark on the Woniverse.
Definitely.
But speaking of characters who left their mark, Rose Tyler's story with the Ninth Doctor.
Oh, yeah.
That one gets to me.
It's powerful.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
And the sacrifices she makes are just heartbreaking.
Rose's story. It's so compelling because it taps into these universal themes of love and loss.
Right.
And sacrifice. Her connection with the Ninth Doctor was so pivotal in relaunching Doctor Who for a modern audience. And it showed just how deep that emotion could run between a Time Lord and a companion.
And you can't talk about emotional connections without talking about Amy Pond and Rory Williams.
Oh, of course. I mean, their relationship with the 11th Doctor was a whole other level of complexity. It was this love story woven through time travel and alien encounters.
It's fantastic. Amy and Rory's dynamic with the Doctor really highlighted that idea of family,
Like they became his anchor, his grounding force.
Okay.
And their loyalty to each other and their willingness to face down any danger alongside the Doctor made their story incredibly powerful.
Yeah. See, that's what gets me about companions. They're not just sidekicks.
No.
They become the Doctor's family, his confidants, and sometimes even his conscience.
Definitely.
They make him a better person.
Yes.
A better hero.
Absolutely.
And you can't deny their impact on the Doctor.
Not at all.
Like, think about Donna Noble.
Oh, Donna.
She brought this incredible humor and warmth to the TARDIS.
Yeah.
She constantly challenged the Doctor's serious tendencies.
Yes, she did.
She reminded him to enjoy the simple joys of life.
She did.
Donna's departure was especially tough on me.
Oh, yeah.
And I know a lot of fans feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But it really highlighted how deeply these companions affect the Doctor.
Right.
And how much he relies on them
Yeah.
for emotional support and guidance.
Right.
And it kind of raised questions about the Doctor's own vulnerabilities.
It did.
Right.
That's another thing that makes companions so crucial. They highlight the Doctor's humanity.
Yeah.
Even when he's struggling to acknowledge it himself.
Interesting.
They challenge his assumptions.
Right.
Call him out on his flaws, and ultimately make him a more well-rounded character.
Okay, so I think we can all agree
Yeah.
companions are way more than just sidekicks.
For sure.
Right.
Yes.
They're complex, they're dynamic, they shape the Doctor's journey,
Absolutely.
and they add all these layers of emotional depth to the show.
Definitely.
But let's dig a little deeper
Okay.
into the different types of dynamics between the Doctor and the companions.
Okay.
I mean, it's not always just a simple friendship, is it?
You're right. Some companion relationships are purely platonic, while others have these undeniable romantic undertones.
Okay.
Like, take Martha Jones, for example.
Yeah.
Her feelings for the 10th Doctor were very clear.
Right.
But he couldn't reciprocate those feelings.
It's almost like the Doctor, with all of his vast experience and knowledge, sometimes fumbles with those basic human interactions.
Right.
Especially when it comes to romance.
It makes him a little more relatable.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't experienced that kind of awkwardness in their life?
Exactly.
Right.
That's the brilliance of Doctor Who. You have these epic cosmic adventures.
Right.
But then you also have these deeply personal stories that we resonate with on a human level.
Right.
And companions are often at the heart of that connection.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
We're reminders that even a Time Lord can experience heartbreak.
Right.
And loss and all the complexities of relationships.
Okay, so we've talked about iconic companions, their unique dynamics with the Doctor, and of course those heartbreaking farewells.
Right.
But there's one more thing I think we should touch on.
Okay.
How have companions evolved over time?
Yeah, especially when it comes to representation and diversity. I mean, we've seen a lot of significant shifts.
Yes, we have.
In recent years.
Absolutely, Doctor Who has always reflected the world around it.
Right.
But recent companions have brought a whole new level of diversity and representation to the TARDIS.
Okay.
Like Bill Potts, Yasmin Khan, Ryan Sinclair.
Right.
They all represent different backgrounds, identities, and perspectives, which makes the show feel more inclusive and relevant to a much wider audience.
And it's so fantastic to see.
It is.
It shows that anyone can be a hero.
Yeah.
Regardless of their background or identity.
Exactly.
I mean, Doctor Who has always been about pushing those boundaries.
It has.
And challenging norms.
Yeah.
And this commitment to diverse representation, it really speaks to that.
It does. It creates opportunities for even richer storytelling.
Okay.
By exploring these different perspectives and lived experiences, Doctor Who can tackle more complex issues and resonate with even more viewers.
So what does all this mean for our understanding of Doctor Who companions?
Well,
I mean, they're not just sidekicks. They're not just love interests. They're not there for comedic relief.
No.
They are, as we've seen, heroes in their own. Right?
Yes.
They shape the Doctor's journey.
They do.
They challenge him, and they inspire us along the way.
That's a great point.
What stands out to you as the most significant aspect of their role in the Whativerse?
That's a really great question, and it's one that I think we can explore further by looking at some specific examples of how companions have demonstrated their heroism. You know, sometimes in these grand universe-saving gestures.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's in these smaller, everyday acts of kindness and courage that they really stand out.
All right, I am already hooked. Let's dive into those examples right after this.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Doctor Who companions.
Okay.
Before the break, we were talking about how companions have evolved over time and how they've become heroes in their own, right?
Yes, and I think one of the best ways to really see that is to look at specific examples of those companions demonstrating their heroism.
Right.
Sometimes it's those big universe-saving moments.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, it's the smaller acts of courage and kindness that really makes them stand out.
Absolutely. Like, take Sarah Jane Smith, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Her courage isn't just about facing down a Daleks.
Right.
It's also about her dedication to investigating the truth.
Yeah.
Even when it puts her in danger.
Right.
Remember when she exposed that alien conspiracy in the Hand of Fear? That took guts.
Yeah, it did.
And she didn't stop there.
Yeah, right.
She became a champion for children.
Yes.
And a defender of Earth in her own series.
Yeah.
The Sarah Jane Adventures.
True.
Talk about a lasting legacy of heroism.
Yeah. But speaking of legacy, Rose Tyler's story.
Rose.
Full of heroic moments.
Yeah.
Big and small.
Rose's heroism is often tied to her emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And her empathy. She consistently chooses compassion, even when facing impossible odds.
That's true.
Remember when she convinced the Dalek Emperor to see the beauty in the universe? I mean, that was powerful. That was an act of defiance against hatred and destruction.
That scene gives me trills every time I see it.
And think about her decision to absorb the time vortex.
Oh, my gosh.
To save the Doctor.
I know.
That was a monumental sacrifice,
yes,
driven by love,
right,
and a deep sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
She put the universe before herself.
She did.
Literally.
Speaking of difficult decisions,
Yeah.
Donna Noble.
Oh, Donna.
You know, she was known for her humor,
right?
But she had some seriously heroic moments.
Like she did.
Too.
Donna's heroism was often about standing up for what's right, for the underdog.
Yeah.
You know, speaking truth to power.
Right.
And reminding the Doctor of his humanity.
Right.
She challenged his cynicism, pushed him to be better, and ultimately helped him save reality from the meta-crisis.
I mean, she wasn't afraid to call him out when he was being reckless or arrogant.
She was a voice of reason and compassion.
Right.
And I think that is a type of heroism that we often overlook.
That's very true.
But when it comes to quiet, understated heroism, I think Amy Pond really embodies that. Amy's journey is so fascinating because she starts as this girl who waited for years for the Doctor.
Yes.
Full of wonder and a thirst for adventure.
Yeah.
But as she travels with him, she develops this fierce protectiveness.
Right.
Not just for the Doctor, but for all of humanity. You know, she becomes this defender of the innocent.
Okay.
Willing to put herself in harm's way for those that she cares about.
And we can't forget Rory.
Oh, Rory, of course not.
His unwavering loyalty to Amy.
Yes.
His willingness to face any danger to protect her. That's heroism in its purest form.
It really is.
They were a team,
absolutely,
always supporting each other.
Yeah.
And that's what made their adventures with the Doctor so compelling.
Amy and Rory really exemplify the idea that heroism isn't always about these grand gestures.
Right.
It's about the everyday choices.
Yeah.
Those little acts of courage and kindness that make a difference in the lives of others.
And that's what makes companions so relatable and inspiring.
It is.
They're not superhuman.
Right.
They're just ordinary people thrust into these extraordinary situations, but they find the strength to rise to the occasion.
That's right.
They remind us that we all have that potential for heroism in our own lives.
Exactly. And that's why the legacy of Doctor Who companions continues to resonate with viewers.
Right.
They show us that anyone from any background can be a hero.
That's a powerful statement.
It is.
So that as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, we're just curious, when do you find most inspiring about the heroism of companions?
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
And it leads us perfectly into our final segment where we're going to explore the enduring legacy of companions.
Okay.
And their impact on both the Doctor and the entire Weniverse.
I can't wait. Welcome back to the deep dive, everyone.
That's been a great deep dive.
It really has.
Hasn't it?
It has.
Exploring this world of Doctor Who companions.
Yeah, we've seen how these companions have evolved over time from those early adventurers to these really complex characters we see today.
Yes.
And how they're not just sidekicks.
No.
They're heroes.
Heroes in their own right.
In their own right, exactly.
What I find remarkable is how each companion leaves their mark on the Doctor, shaping his perspective.
Okay.
Reminding him of his own humanity.
Right.
Like, think about Sarah Jane Smith.
Yeah.
Her unwavering pursuit of truth and justice. I think that really influenced the Doctor's moral compass.
Yeah.
And her legacy continued long after she left the TARDIS.
It's amazing how those early companions
really
paved the way for the characters we see today.
They did.
Like Rose Tyler, her emotional journey with the Ninth Doctor remind us of love and sacrifice.
Right.
And Donna Noble.
Yeah.
Her humor, her compassion, they brought a certain lightness to the Doctor's very serious demeanor.
Right.
And then Amy and Rory.
Oh, Amy and Rory.
Showed us the strength of family.
Yes.
And loyalty.
Absolutely.
I mean, they anchored the 11th Doctor.
They did.
During a very turbulent time in his life.
Yes.
I think every companion in their own way has contributed to this rich tapestry of Doctor Who leaving a mark on the show's history.
A mark that can't be erased.
Exactly. It's like every companion adds another layer to the Doctor, revealing different parts of his personality.
Right.
Challenging him to grow. And we see that growth.
Yeah.
When he faces those difficult choices.
Right.
And has to confront his own flaws.
Exactly.
You know, it's like companions are mirrors.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Reflecting the Doctor's strengths and weaknesses back to him. They remind him about compassion, empathy, the value of human connection.
That's a good point.
And in doing so, they help him become a better hero.
We're more well-rounded here.
More well-rounded, exactly.
And their influence goes beyond just the Doctor. I mean, companions have become icons.
Right.
Inspiring fans all over the world with their courage, compassion, and their determination.
They remind us that heroism isn't limited to just those with powers.
Yeah. It's about the everyday choices.
Right.
The kindness and the willingness to stand up for what we believe in.
They show us that anyone can be a hero. It doesn't matter your background or your identity.
And that is a really powerful message.
It is.
Especially today when we're bombarded with so much negativity.
Yeah.
Doctor Who companions remind us that hope and kindness can win. Even in the darkest of times.
It's true, and that's why their legacy continues to endure.
It does. They represent the best of humanity. Our capacity for love, compassion, courage.
They inspire us to be better.
They do.
To make a difference in the world. And to never give up hope.
So true.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Doctor Who companions, I hope everyone listening will take that message to heart.
It's a good message.
Remember, even though we're not traveling through time and space, we all have the potential to be heroes in our own lives.
Yes.
We can all make choices that matter. Show kindness. Stand up for what we believe in.
Exactly.
And just like the Doctor's companions, we can inspire others to do the same.
We can.
So thank you all for joining us.
Yes.
On this incredible journey through the Wandaverse.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
Yes.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
And keep the spirit of adventure alive.
Absolutely.